Oh, hey guys, and before this video begins, I actually recorded, I think, three individual videos talking about it because every time I said something, it kind of changed, not, it stayed the similar, but then I kept like changing things, adding things, so I actually just compiled all of them together into one thing. So it's my initial response after it, then it's my second response that I made, and then it's the third response after it. So, uh, yeah, legator, see you later. Okay, if you're watching this, I've released doubleuppblack.com, Rule 34, higher or lower video. And wow, what a dude. I kind of hate myself legitimately for making that. Like I was literally I think the reason why I made it was that the actual reason is that I was like struggling the I struggled to come up with like content ideas from time to time. And so that's why like it's always like a big like waste on channels, like a big like dead zone. Because I see people out there and like I saw this one guy making gay Pokemon videos talking about like if you're can they say like the gay slur if you like for certain characters? And I was like, what? Huh? And how can like he has like he's like 50 of these on his channel. And I was like, you how can you sit there, and like say that on the camera for like 3 hours. Like I can't do it, man. I would go insane if I did that. Okay. And so with like this, I thought, okay, so I gotta make something. I gotta think. I gotta think about what's an idea that I had, that I haven't followed through on because I was just too lazy or I didn't think it was a good idea. And then snap. Ooh, Rule 34, higher or lower. And then I looked it up initially. And then um I saw that I didn't see anything on it initially. This is initially. And then I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's make a Rule 34 higher or lower thing, man. So in the month of April, I started it beginning of April. It was like a month long project. And I started coding it. I know basic HTML. I took a computer science class when I was in my senior year of high school. It kind of all blends together now. It's COVID, crazy, right? And uh uh yep, I started making the website. And the hardest part, right? I thought, okay, first step, how do I get the characters off the site? Right? Because I think you've seen it, I've seen it. They have like the pornification of the internet where people use like bar graphs and like, oh, did you know that Fortnite has the most Rule 34 or Overwatch has the most Rule 34? And I was looking at it and I was checking how the API works, and the API is stupid. So the ape cells, like I couldn't get it to work. It's just coming back with like like it's like Battleship. You need coordinates to get the post off of it. And I was like, no, that's not how it works. You should look at this site. There's a green because a green name is different than a series name in like a different tag name. It's like so there's got to be a way that it identifies characters and what's it called in like series and other stuff, right? So then I tried to figure it out. I couldn't. It was like in the first week. Then I was like, okay, you know what I'll do? I saw on Reddit some guy posted this how like the Overwatch thing, which Overwatch character has the most, the Rule 34, right? So I DM him on Reddit. It's like, hey, yo, man, hey, how'd you do this? Did you, I asked him about the API, it's like the problem struggling with it. And it's like, how'd you do it? And he's like, I had to go through it manually. And I was like, like the freaking 1,000 yard stare. That was like me with the 1,000 yard stare. It's like, dude, do I go through manually for every character that I want to do? And I was contemplating it. It's like, do I do it? Because that would be, it's a little hard, right? And that's a little hard. And, yeah, I didn't want to do that. So I was like, you know what? I'll start off small. So I to get the site to work, I did every Overwatch character initially, right? So which is like I think it's like I don't know how many, like 40 something every Overwatch character. And then I had trouble with characters that have special characters in their name, like Torbjorn. But I thought I fixed that, but it comes back. Yeah, it comes back later. And then it's like, okay, the site kind of works, right? It looks super basic. It's like a white site with buttons on it. It says if it has which posts it's on, which how much post it has, whatever. It kind of works. And then I gotta collect all the, like, on my screen. I had one side was the like Rule 34, and then one side was a Google Doc, right? And I didn't want to do I didn't and this is the beginning, right? So I was like, okay, let's just do like some Smash game, like what franchises that are in Smash Bros. Or no, I was like, what? Let's just do popular series. I think I did Overwatch first. I did Overwatch first. Then I did Valorant, right? And then I did Pokken. I did Pokken. And then I did yeah, I did Pokken, and then I did something. I did like 5 series. But then I had an itch in my brain, right? Like, does anyone else get itches in their brain when like a leaning thought? And it was like, this idea is so, like, it's not generic, right? It's an idea that I think a lot of people have because, like, the graph stuff. Like, people have always asked, like, which one does Hyrule 34, or like this and that? Like, there's a tier list of Smash Bros. Characters that have it, right? So it was like, like, someone out there has had to make this before, because like I really don't like recreating content, right? Like, there's a guy on YouTube right now who's pissing me off, man. Like, this is why I don't want to make YouTube shorts. Like, every time I make every time I make a YouTube short, this guy copies it. It is insane. It's pissing me off, man. Like it's like, oh, it's just, it's just the cannibalistic nature of the Yu-Gi-Oh content spheres. Like, I don't know, like, maybe, but this dude, he just copies everyone's content, right? And I made this YouTube short. I think it was the only one about Archfiends, right? Or only one. Only one. It's like, yeah, good original idea. And then literally week later, boom, I see it. I see this guy. I see the guy. I see the guy on my feed. And I was like, what? How does this video have 24,000 likes? He's just copying what I did verbatim in the same order. What the frick's going on? And I was just, that's why I try to think. I made the freaking Thunder Dragon YouTube short, and I was like, there's no way that this guy's gonna make the same YouTube short. I don't think anyone's made a YouTube short about this, right? I know about this because it's kind of niche knowledge, maybe not really niche, whatever. Like, there's no way. I looked it up. I don't think anyone really made a videos about it. So it's like, okay, I got this. You know what? No's made a video about this. It's good. It's good content. It's good content, right? And then next thing you know, a week later, I see the same guy post the same video, and I was like, ugh, I'm gonna freaking lose my freaking mind. Well, anyway, I don't like copying other people's content, even though maybe I should die on my morals a little bit. But that's a future me problem. So I had the itch in my brain, so I looked it up. But instead of just doing a basic search, I really looked it up. And it turned out some guy did make it. And again, I got the 1,000 yard stare. I was like, oh man, oh shoot, oh man, oh man, oh god, oh man. It's like, what do I do? Do I continue making against this guy? He made, I think his name's Dave or something. He made a Rule 34 higher lower games on itch.io. I'll probably put the link in the description. If I don't, just like bother me. It's on itch.io, and he has a website hosting it. He has like a video series hosting it. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of the series until I finished my website completely, right? So looking at the website, I saw that he has the tags category and the parodies category, right? And I was like, this is cool design process, right? But he doesn't have individual categories. Like hypothetically speaking, what if I don't want to do like a whole like series and stuff. What if I want to do specific characters? And he didn't really have specific characters, and he didn't really have like certain things on it. So it's like, what if I did that? What if I doubled down and go through all the like I just get like a list of characters. I make a list of characters. I go through Rule 34, and then I get the proper tags, right? So that the code, because how the API works, like you need to call the thing off the API, whatever. So what if I did that? What if I did that? And I contemplated this for a day in April. It's like, do I do that? And then I was like, you know what? I gotta double. I gotta. I gotta double down. I gotta double down. So that's what I did. And then I just started doing list after list after list after list after list. And boot that, dude. I. I am. I don't know how to say put this in the words, but I think. I think my brain is broken. Right. Um. I think I've seen so like. I don't want to exaggerate this. I don't know. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this. I think I've seen so much porn like last month than I think any person has seen in their entire life. And it's like, yo, you're being no. Like, you see every entry. You gotta understand this. Every individual entry, I had to go type it in on Rule 34. And then I was like, okay, that's fine, that works. And then some of the like, and I had to verify some of the characters I had to verify that was actually them on the site because a lot of characters. So I had to click it and search it. And I've seen some things, man. And I was gonna do a whole video on this channel potentially talking about it. Talking about the messed up things I've seen in Rule 34. But I don't think I want to. I don't think I can. I can't have that on my conscience. I mentally. I don't think I can, like, show people the worst things I've seen. And it's like, and it's like, but that's not even the worst part. Since my brain is like rewired, so I cannot enjoy regular media anymore, right? So I was just watching a Coney stream, and he was just like commentating something, and it was just Smash Bros, right? And I was just watching the stream, and then I started to get like flashing images of in my brain of like the most deplorable things like the Smash characters are doing. It's like, oh man, and I was playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, right? And like recently, and Lily, the trainer is a Pokemon card, and someone used Lily to heal 60 health, and like the image of Lily, like, oh god, oh man, like like the full art card, and it's like, dude, why did people draw art? Why did people do that? She's a child, man. She's a literal child. I don't know how people can think. I don't get that. I don't understand why people do that. And like, it's just gross. So my brain's I'm kind of, what the kids say, cooked. Um, yeah, but after I did that, I had this is so in the development process. Before I did all the Pokemon, I didn't know if I wanted to do all the Pokemon because there's about 900 Pokemon, not including their like forms and stuff. Right. So before that, I was like, you know what? I have this list of characters. What if I just made like I don't know, like a Wordle or something. So then I just quickly made the Rule 30 Wordle. And I was like, hey, look at that. It's little things, Rule 30 Portal. It's another thing that's on the website. I didn't really, that was an afterthought. That wasn't the main goal. I don't think anyone has a Rule 30 Portal out there. So it'll be the first one. It'll be the first one, guys. But yeah, then I made that after I made the Pokemon one. And then I just went through and did it. And I got the site done. But unfortunately, it took the problem. Big problem. The website takes 20 minutes to load. Because at first it didn't take that long. Because I have like Overwatch characters, it's like 70, whatever. It's not 70, but it's like under 100. It took like a minute, like 30 seconds to load. But I had over 4,000 or 3,000. At the time, I had 3,000. I did over 3,000. And the site was taking 20 minutes to load. No joke, no cap. Oh, God, for real, for real. And I was like, dude, I can't expect people to wait 20 minutes just to play my like higher or lower game one time, right? So then I was like, okay, I gotta, how the heck? I was asking around. I asked one of my good friends, uh, right, and I think I couldn't explain it correctly. It's like I tell you, like, how can you? I think I explained it like, how can I cache the data first, and then put it on the site so people don't have to cache it. And I think he said he didn't understand the first two times I told him, but then I showed him the website because I didn't want to show anyone the website because I kind of embarrassed about it. Because how do you explain to people that you're making a Rule 34 higher or lower site? Like I wouldn't I don't. How do you explain that? So I finally bit the bullet, told you about it, and it was like, oh, well, what you can do is host a server. And I was like, I would do that. Hey, if you want to help me host a server so I can host stuff on it, I got a coffee now, so I would use some of the money because I like actually broke, but I would use some of the money to for like to help make content, and I would try to. I think one of the goals I would have is to host a server so I can host the projects I have on it. And I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm broke. And he's like, okay. And we came to the conclusion that what if we just he wrote a Python script to that would cache all the data first, right? That takes like 10 minutes to do. It takes 10 minutes to do it just catches all the data first, right? And then the what I wrote put in the code is that so when the website loads the data, it checks that first, right? And if there's no data, it still can check the Rule 34 API, but it first checks that. And that got the site loading screen down like, dang, godsend, mamma mia, gee whiz. Like, now the site takes like 2 minutes, I think, not even, to load up. It's pretty good. And in the future, every time I add a character, every time I add a list, like a big list, I'm gonna or once a month, I'm gonna add I gotta run the whole code again. It's gonna get the fresh numbers off the website, so the site's gonna be continually updated consistently. But yeah, so then we'll get more stuff on it, and so when I run the code, the numbers will update. So yeah, fantastic. No, now that works, right? And it is in Eureka. I'm done. And it's like, yeah. Now it works. I do some like minor quality of life stuff. One of the problems was I thought I fixed the special character problem, but Rule 34 is stupid and like because like the O with like two dots on it, right? You'd expect that it would just be like a regular O or something, but how the code works is that when it sends the message of the O with the two dots on it, it doesn't actually send that. It sends like an encoded O. So it's like hashtag 34O hashtag 34. And it's probably a standardized version of this, right? No, there is not a standardized version of this. And um I feel bad. We had to go through and then because each special character has a special code, and it was really stupid and very dumb. But you either go to the individual entry on the like, either go through all the tags, I cannot stress this enough. We had to go through all first one. We had to see how many posts the thing had, and then we had to go through. We went to like the actual library of tags, and we had to go through literally every single one to get to like the right tag, right? And then you had to see what the actual how it was reading encoded, right? And that was really stupid and dumb because there's a standardized method for it, but the Rule 34 API doesn't use it for some reason. And Yeah, it's crazy. And I did that for some of the special characters. I think I did it for all of them. I might have missed one maybe, but yeah. But after that, yep, it's the website's up and done. And I regret everything. I kind of wish I didn't do it. Um, Other thing, like, I was struggling to, like, monetarily, right? So money's a big thing, right? So I put like a whole month's worth of stuff in it. Didn't get like, it was like a project kind of for fun, but at the same time, right? This is the biggest struggle. One of the biggest struggles I had is whether or not to put ads on the website, right? And I could put ads on it. It's like, do I? Because I don't want to. I don't want people to. I hate ads on websites, right? But at the same time, I am broke. Like I think I have like $3 in my bank account, like actually. And so the thing is, do I put ads on the site so I can get like at least some money back from this, like any money at all? And it's like it's one of the hardest decisions. Hardest decisions I've like had to like grapple with. Because I didn't know like that'd be hard because I always thought that I would have like a firm stance on that type of stuff. But no, like I need money, but I don't want to like exploit people, quote unquote, right? And I feel like I'm gonna have a coffee, so hopefully people can will donate like at least $1. Just please donate $1, please. Like it's $1, please, please donate $1. So yeah, it's like hopefully yeah, it's one of the and that's it. You can go to the website right now. It's called doubletheblack.com. And have fun. Have fun. Like I really want people to like sink their teeth into it. Um, for this like I got some funny matches. Hopefully I want to make a YouTube video where I play with my do with my friends and stuff. But I was thinking about how the heck do I make it Twitch integrated? But I don't know how to do that, and I don't think I care to do that. I think, but it's like, how do I make this like with my friends and stuff? But it's fine. It's fine the way it is. It's like a rough. It's finally done. I can add more features, but I'll be adding things for days. And hopefully this month I'll do every single Animal Crossing villagers. Every single animal. There's over 500 freaking Animal Crossing villagers, man. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So, but hey, I might do that. So I probably will do that, even though I don't want to. But yeah, go to the site, have fun, and that the whole project was really fun and enlightening. I kind of am a little desensitized to porn. That's cool, and that's crazy. I'll have another video up talking about this tomorrow. Look, Gator, bye bye. Ooh, hello. Oh, you guys made it. Incredible. Anyway, if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure that one video came out, and man, was that a hoot to make, okay? Let me tell you, I am severely traumatized and regret my actions, okay? I think the reason why I made this, I'll be you for a second, is because I realized that I don't really follow through on anything, and I was getting clowned on, about like one of my content ideas, and I was like, man, I gotta do something. I gotta prove these people wrong. I can follow through and do stuff. And so I followed through on an idea that I had, and I I think I think I had fun making it. Um, it is like when I was like making the website and like getting the things off the API. I had to like I was watching YouTube videos, and the ones I watched were Cold Ones and Tomska, and them specifically, like them always going out of their comfort zone to try new things. Like Tomska with Try Guys and the Cold Ones just doing stuff, and I was like, man, I gotta start trying because I realized that I don't really try. So I think what I'll do most likely is have videos where I try to do something new. Like next month, I want to try to make I want to try making like a util, like a Vocaloid song, right? I saw this one person do it on like the Family Guy stuff, and I was like, you know what? I want to try to make like a South Park, like Cal's mom's a bitch, in that make it like a Kasana Tito, she's a utiloid. It's like I want to do that. I think that'll sound fun. I'll make like 3 songs. I want to try to do stuff and remind people to always try. Anyway, you're not here to talk to me. You're not here to listen to me talk about that. That's banana talk. Okay, you're here to talk about the website and website development. Am I right or am I wrong? So first of all, the idea Rule 34 higher or lower. I initially had the idea, but then after looking it up, and I found out that this other guy named the Dave had a similar idea, and he made it. Yep, he made it. So if you go, I'll put the link in the description. If you go to tag, I think it's like tag higher lower. He made it, but it's drastically different than mine. So I am happy that even though he made it first, I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know that he made it. And if I knew beforehand, I don't think I would have done it. Or as I found out um mid month that I was working on it. Right. So I was like, do I not finish the project? Do I finish the project? Because I don't want to steal this guy's idea. So the only thing I can do is direct traffic to his site, but I only urge you to check out his site. He has like 3 YouTube videos on it that I finished the project out. So I've watched a couple of them, and they're okay. They're pretty good. And just go check out his stuff. But yeah, Rule 34, higher or lower. Let's talk about all the difficulties and stuff. First of all, I barely know how to code, right? So I took a comp sci class in high school, I believe. So I know HTML and I know um Python. Those are the only 2 things, and I know coding language, right? So I was like, I could probably make a website, and I ran into so many issues. And I have like a be strange relationship with AI, and I'm probably getting a lot of flack for doing this, but I AI kind of helped a lot, honestly, because there was a certain parts where I didn't know what I was doing, and like there was this section, there's a part in the website, right? So you have to access the API, right? But you need some characters have special characters in their names, like Torbjorn. And I was wondering why the heck it wasn't working. It would like crash every time. And it turned out when the O, since O is a special character, it gets encoded weird. And it's encoded like it says TORB, then it has like um percentage sign 23023 percentage sign. And I was like, what? Huh? That's I literally didn't know that. AI helped a lot with me doing that, and it's actually got me super interested in coding. I wish to take a class on it later, so I can rely. As I want to rely less and less on AI. To be honest, um, let's see. I forgot, dude. I'll keep it 10 toes down. Okay, I recorded a video before this, but then I was like, no, no, I can't post that one because I gotta talk about other stuff in it, or maybe the whatever. And so accessing the API was very difficult because the API is stupid and dumb. So on the website, how it works is that there's character tag. Either the site uses it's the tag system. So when an image is posted on Rule 34, it has a tag. Like people put they describe the thing in the image, and that description becomes tags. For example, if there was a picture of let's just say Dracula holding a can of bleach, right? The tags like would be Dracula, bleach, right? Because or bleach, and that's how it gets organized, right? And when I initially made this site, I thought it'd be pretty easy because what is it? I thought it'd be pretty easy because on the site itself, natively, they have all the characters sorted, right? So on the site, they have character tags, series tags, artist tags, and like general tags, right? And I was like, oh, this is gonna be super easy. But it turns out the API isn't labeled that way for some stupid reason, and all the tags are like mixed together for some reason, which I'm like, why would they do that? Like locally, they're sorted, right? So there's no reason for them not to be sorted in the API, and that was crazy. And the reason why I think I'm kind of like a little traumatized a little bit because I have a new found respect for data entry, to be honest, because data entry, I had to do like 5,370 something of data entry, and my brain's cooked, man. My brain's gonzo donzo, and because in order to get the specific value off the site, what you need to do is since you can't just get all the characters under the character API, right? You need to specifically have the right coordinates to the tag that you want. And so this seems easy on paper, right? Like, some characters, super simple, right? But it gets a little complicated. Like, for example, Kirby. Kirby is the name of a character in the series. Goku. Goku is his name, but he goes by Son Goku. Like, Izutsu Midoriya. Is it like Japanese? I love Japanese culture. Great. Naming scheme freaking sucks, okay? Why do Japanese people have their name backwards? I mean, they have like their surname first and then they have their like first name. So like some characters, and the thing is, some characters have it like that and then some don't. So you had to sift through all the data, like it's really stupid. And then you have what was I gonna say? Uh, then you have the special characters. If a character has a special character in their name, you cannot type it in to the search bar, because that's a problem that me and my friend, let's call him Joseph Smith, ran into, where to order the on the API, it's stored specifically with what's it called, with the like tag, with the frick messed up characters on it, like the percentage time 2 3 percentage time, like O, right? So since you can't type in like Torbjorn because the name disappeared when you put the O there because it's encoded funky, you have to go through. They have a list of every tag on the website. You have to go through all of those, which was really, I feel bad for my friend Joseph Smith, because because when he was helping me with the website, he's the one that figured it out, and he's the one that went through some of them, and it was yeah, it was crazy. Another thing is, which I found out afterwards. So a funny story, actually, when I was doing this, I would have the like my docs on one screen and then I have the Rule 34 site on my other screen, right? Like split down the middle. And so I'll be working on this thing through the night. And my roommate, I had a roommate at the time, and my roommate would just like, I would like be scrolling and I would be like typing in a name, then I would search it, and then the most profane thing would show up on the Rule 34 site, and my roommate would be sitting behind me. I'm like, I hope he didn't see that. And then I had to show, afterwards, I showed him what I made. He was like, oh, that explains a little bit of stuff. I was like, oh man, that's fantastic. So he did so he did see. And another funny thing, when my friend Joseph Smith started helping me out, he told me like, he said like this super off-putting thing. It's like, man, the computer guys must think I'm a freaking freak. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, since I'm going through the school Wi-Fi, I see all the searches. I my brain kind of broke because I was doing this for a month. I wasn't even thinking about that. So every time they must think, is that the reason why I couldn't get a job on campus? Because they saw my internet search history. I was like, no, please, no, I'm not a weirdo. I'm just trying to make this stupid game for YouTube video. Please don't, like, so, like, and especially later on, because I was, like, hitting the API, like, a lot. So it was like, dude, they must think I'm a freaking weirdo. Which, hey, you know what? That's fine. You know what? That's great. That's another thing that can happen this year. Why not? And I don't know, freaking rambling. I forgot what the thing I was talking about before I was like on the freaking story tangent. But anyway, um, freaking data entry, seeing images that I won't tell another soul. Um, age, right? So here's another fun fact. When I was first making the site, I had a few rules for myself, right? I was like, okay, I'm in like this super morally gray area. So I said, I was like, no, real people, doy, no real people at all. No real people adjacent things like VTubers and stuff. No, that's too real people adjacent. And, if I could avoid it, no explicit minors, okay? Like explicit minors that has like the largest asterisks on it in your life, okay? Because I gotta go into some explanations, right? So before I begin this segment, I gotta say this. I think Rule 34, after doing this, my political views are kinda changed, okay? I think Rule 34 is kinda gross, okay? Let me be real, okay? Okay, I think it's super weird that kids like a lot of like the reason. So there's like a meta. There's like I have a graph on my website, right? If you use the coffee link, whatever, and you put like the password into the wellblack.com, whatever, you can view the data breakdown, right? The majority of my data is from video games, okay, and then I have some from like Eastern media, like anime, and I have some from Western media, right? The reason why those are so low is because the protagonists are literal children. And I was like, and it's really hard to like, I can't, I, I mean, the way I justified it in my brain, it was like, they're not real. They're not real kids. And the artist, why did the artist draw them so weird? Why are people sexualizing children? you know, and it's kind of gross. And I was like, I couldn't do it. That's why, like, if you look at Western media, I didn't do like a lot of TV shows because Kim Possible, um, dude, no thanks, freaking Star versus the Forces of Evil, yikes, Gravity Falls, no, and I did like for anime, right? For anime, I was like, okay. I mean, I can do anime. And I was like, what's the most popular anime when it comes to this stuff? And I was like, and I checked, one thing I did, I checked the top 100, characters, right? Top, I came, whatever characters, right? And in that list, My Hero Academia came up a lot. And I was like, dude, I don't want to do this. And yeah, and all those characters are just underaged, which is super weird and super gross. And I'm like, it put me at a crossroad because I don't want to. I felt kind of bad because I was exposed to Rule 34 at a young age. This one guy, a content creator, he made this clickbait series, and he talked about it a few times. And also, he talked about it in like his Paladins videos or whatever. And I looked it up because I was like, "What's this?" So I looked it up. And now I'm making a website which is kind of glorifying the fact that there's so many R34 of certain characters, and that I kind of despise myself a little bit, like I personally do, because I don't want I don't I don't want kids looking it up, And I looked up, like I was like, dude, advertisers, how do advertisers like make it so that kids don't go to these like sites, like dive into like adult themes, and they haven't found a way to do it in ways I can't do it, because in the ways that they do it are so severe that I physically can't implement them. Oh, that's the case there. And I was at a crossroads regarding that, and it sucks. It really does suck to be in the gray area. That's why I was like, okay, you know what? Instead of making a long video on my main channel, going over the entire process of making it, I'll just talk about it for a while. I'll also make a double the app video talking about it, because it sucks. Like, and someone pointed out, you have a Yu-Gi-Oh channel and you're making a Rule 34 video. Kids watch your channel. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're 100% right. I didn't think about that. I think I got in my own. I think I got in my own way, hyping the idea up in my mind. Mm. Well, but yeah, I'm trying to think. What else is I to talk about? Oh yeah, 20 minutes. So initially, when the site was up, it took 20 minutes for it to load, because when I tested it out initially, um I only had like a few categories like Overwatch and Valorant on there, but then like at the time I had 4,000, and I was running into this issue where the site would take 20 minutes to launch because it had to hit the API every single time it wanted to make a match, which I was like, dude, I can't have it so it takes 20 minutes for each one, right? For each like for one time the person's gonna load up the site. I can't do this, and I kept trying to figure it out, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I asked my buddy Joseph Smith about it. So yeah, I was hiding it from my group of friends because I was kind of embarrassed to talk about breaking Rule 34, So I told it to my friend Joseph Smith, and he told me how to he wrote a Python. We got into like a little swabble, and I was like, he told me, it's like you can have a server where it has all the posts on them, right? And then daily what it does is it checks the post value, right? And I was like, I can't do that, I'm broke. So we came to the conclusion that what I should do is he wrote a Python script that took all the coordinates I had, and it put it in another JSON file. So now instead of running it through the API, it's all the counts are on a JSON file. So every time I add stuff to the list, or if I want to update the list, I can just it's on there, which kind of sucks. To be real, I'm gonna be real for a second, which kind of sucks. I wanted the site to be extremely accurate, which it is accurate, but at the same time, like I was testing it, and now it's a little off because it's not the exact number. It's like it's super close though, because people all consistently add Rule 34, so it's super close though, and I'm pretty sure this site would not even be functional without Joseph Smith. So Joseph Smith is listening right now. Thank you, Joseph Smith, for being a real one and being the number one true cell. Uh, anyway, and another thing that happened, payment. right? Money, 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 money. I did not think about this. I did not want to like have features behind money, right? I didn't want to do that. And but at the same time, at this moment in time, right, I'm at the brokest I am in my life, right? So I'm like, I gotta have morals, but at the same time, I can't be stupid, right? And so that's why um I was like, okay, I'll make a coffee and I'll have it so that if the person donates $1, they'll get a code, they'll put the code in and it makes the site, right? Bing bing boom, Ringo, whatever. But coffee doesn't work like that. Apparently, you can't have content behind paid stuff, like one-time donations, which is kind of stupid, to be real. So it was like, freaking God. So they have to be a member on the channel and on the coffee. So I'm like, dude, just here, take $1. Like, I just want $1, man. Like, if 1,000 people give me $1, then coffee takes 5% of that. So if 2,000 people give me $1, no, actually, it'd be like, dude, I forgot how much I'm in the hole from. If, if a lot of people give me $1, I'll be happy. Okay, I can probably get my dad a birthday present. I can probably do something for my mom for Mother's Day. But yeah, yeah. Yeah. So um, I didn't want to hide stuff behind money, but once money got involved, I felt super anxious, right? Because I was like, now I'm charging people for this Scrimblow Bimblow website. And initially, I didn't have Animal Crossing on there. I didn't have like freaking like a lot of these series on there. But like since I'm charging people money, I gotta put more effort in, so it's not that bad, or it has more long series on there. So that's what I did. So that's then after I made my coffee, I added a bunch more series. And that's why it's up to 5,000 right now. And I was like, dude, I should do Marvel and DC comics and like how about Invincible? But no, not Invincible, dude, not Invincible. I know those are kids. Those are kids. But no, yeah. So you can't play Marvel and DC comics. Yeah, let's do it. Like I can do that for the next one. Um, but yep. After money got involved, I kind of became hyper obsessed with it. And I was like, that's why I added more numbers, more series. That's why I added like a graph, so if people pay, they can look at like the data. Because I find after college, I found that looking at data is kind of nice. It's kind of fun to look at data sometimes, right? And and I think I got to a place where I'm like, you know what? I think I can charge $1 for this. And yeah, I spent like a month working on it. As I ended development April 30th is when I finished it, quote unquote. But then I started like fixing and adding stuff, and it went past April, unfortunately. And yeah, um, that's sad. But if you want to help, you can donate $1 to my coffee, coffee.com/double the black. So good, so great. I'm trying to think about other stuff that was on there. Coding errors, Joseph Smith, Chat GPT. Oh yeah, the Wordle. So basically, the Wordle was basically an afterthought, right? So this is so can I gotta set the scene. I initially wasn't gonna do too many series, right? That's why Pokin's on there, right? So I wasn't gonna do too many series. I was gonna do Overwatch, Valorant, Pokken, freaking Sonic, and then call it a day. And then I looked up. I felt bad. I felt like an itch in my brain. You ever get that itches in your brain? I was like, dude, this idea is too generic and too stupid. Some one person out there has to have this idea already, right? So I looked it up beforehand, didn't find it, and then I was like, I'm good. But then when I got to doing the Pokemon, I just felt like a sense of dread. Then I looked it up and found out the Dave guy made one, and that was great. And I felt kind of miserable because I spent half a month working on it. And after looking at his site, I didn't watch a single one of his YouTube videos because I didn't want to copy anything that he did. But I did look at his site to see if our sites were going in different directions. And our sites were going in different enough directions where I feel comfortable continuing to work on it. So it's like to make my site more different, I gotta double down and I'll do every single Pokemon. And there's like 900 Pokemon. But when I was contemplating this, I contemplated this for like 2 days. When I was contemplating this, I was like, dude, I have all this data schmata. I gotta do something with it. So that's when I added the Wordle. Which the Wordle is not polished, and I'm sorry the people that like. I wish it was polished, okay, but I'm not good enough at coding. I'll continue trying, but I'm not good enough to code and really make it too polished, right? So but it is another thing you can do, and yeah. Then after that, I did every single Pokemon, which was great. I'm not traumatized at all from doing every single Pokemon. I have not seen anything weird or disgusting, and my brain is definitely not broken. Um, which actually, to be real, that was the beginning of the end for my mental decline. I'll be honest, because I think before was fun, right? Like, ooh, like DMC lady from DMC. Oh, don't mind if I do. Freaking Etier from Fire Emblem. Don't mind if I do. But then, and then you see like the most disgusting things you've seen in your entire life, and then you're like, yeah, maybe there should be laws implemented. Maybe there should. Um, Trying to think about what else happened to the Wordle thing, that thing. The Rule 34 had like a mouse event for some reason. That was weird. What else happened? I'm trying to think. Trying to use my brain box. Mm, think. Think. Oh, content. So initially, my plan was to make like I was gonna make one long video and then one like a bunch of shorts, doing the higher lower with like the characters, right? And I decided not to do that on my main channel because I don't want to promote it to kids. Because I think that's kind of gross. So that's why I'm not doing that. Um, and I know I need to add more series to it. I know for Western and Eastern media, I don't have a bunch, but I might add more for Eastern. I just gotta look up more anime. Like how old's Baki? How old's that guy? Hopefully he's of age. Um, trying to think. Um, Coding issues. I had several coding issues in the beginning. Um, but it kinda ChatGPT has helped a lot with that. And domains, dude, buying domains. Okay, real estate is a scam. Domains are the thing. Okay, so I had the research, so I had to buy my domain, Double the Black, and I was like, man, I gotta buy my domain, but it's like a bajillion domain websites. There is a big domain conspiracy. Okay, no cap on God, for real, for real. So basically, a bunch of sites just have domains listed on them, right? But most of them charge like all these extra surcharges for some reason. GoDaddy does it, like these other ones do it. Because like it's crazy, crazy. And I bought my domain through frick a good one where it was only $10, where it was like for like a whole year, which was which was great, okay? But don't get, when you buy domain, that's the one life lesson I learned. First of all, buy domains. Second of all, don't get scammed when you buy domains. Okay, I think it's pork bun or something. That's what it's called. Yeah, don't get scammed when you buy domains. Okay, okay. What else? I think that might be it. Um, besides the money thing, where like I'm kind of don't like charging people things for money, as I kind of feel bad. So, but if you can, please donate to my Ko-fi, coffee.com/double the black. And hopefully it'll help me make good content, I swear. And that's all for right now. I think I'm gonna post videos on Double the Black, like videos on the website, on this one instead of the main one. But I'll catch you next time. Goodbye, and hey, if you want extra features on doubletheblack.com, you can donate $1 on Ko-fi. Smell you later. Lugator, goodbye. Well, hello. It looks like you made it. And yeah, if this video is coming out, that means doubletheblack.com is now published. And woo-wee, what a journey that was. So let's start up with the basics. Why? Why did you start? Why did you make this site? So I initially made this site because I kinda got called out. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I got called out that I have the ideas, but that I just don't follow up on any of them. And then I kind of got like, stunned. Like, man, that's true. That's a true and factual thing that person just typed. And I always have to think. It's like, man, why? What's an idea that I had that I can do with the skill set that I have and that I can follow through on? And I was like, I had an idea a while back, like I think like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, Rule 34 higher or lower. And I quickly looked it up and I didn't see anyone that did it beforehand. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll dedicate the month of April to working on this. Okay, yeah, this is awesome. This is quacktastic. Then I first started off making it, and there were problems from the start, let me tell you. So how the API works is that on the site, each tag has a color, right? So characters are green, artists are purple, series are red, etc. So I thought, oh, that means that the API is organized with character, series, and generic tags. Nope, that's not the case. Every tag is like lumped in with every other tag on the API, which is which is super annoying. Okay, so that means if you want to get a character off the website, you can't just do character. You have to know the exact one that you want with the exact tag that they have, which is really stupid because I had to manually go through and see like what tag was correct for each one. Like for example, Kirby. Kirby is a name of a character, the name of a series. So that's also one. Goku, example. People call Goku Kakarot, right? But his name is actually, Son Goku, right? And they're Japanese names, right? Japanese names are weird because sometimes they put the surname in the front, and sometimes people say the surname like an English name, right? So with that, and also some characters through series have the same name. Wow, I can't believe it. Wow, like did you know that there's freaking only three Animal Crossing characters with the same no, three Animal Crossing characters with the same name? Anyway, my brain's broken. Anyway, so like, Yes, so that means certain characters like Marceline, the Vampire Queen, right? She Marceline's a common name, right? Kind of. But Marceline, specifically from Adventure Time, is Marceline. But Marceline from a different series is Marceline underscore and then a column bracket, no bracket, the series name bracket. So it was super annoying doing that. And don't even tell me about Pokemon, man. There's 900 Pokemon. And there's so many Pokemon, yeah. So I'm gonna do all that manually. And I asked on Reddit, right? Because I saw people, there's so people on Reddit, right? They've done it, like the graphs, right? Big inspiration, the graphs, right? And I was like, okay, people on Reddit have done this, so that means it must be pretty easy. Nope. The people on Reddit have done it manually too, which I'm like, dude, the API for Rule 34 really needs to change, okay? I'm gonna be first, it really needs to change. But besides the point, that was one of the first problems I had. The second issue I had, coding, okay? I am a novice coder. I'll but be real. Okay, I took a computer comp sci classes in high school, and then yeah, I know HTML and Python barely, right? And so I ran into so many issues coding the site. Like sometimes when you were fetching the list off the JSON, it wouldn't present itself. The website structure was weird. CSS, like the theme stuff, it was just really, really difficult sometimes and so many bugs. And no cap on God, for real, for real. I hate to say this, but he's like a ton. Like, yeah, AI was a huge godsend. And I know people have mixed feelings about AI, and I do too. And I'll be honest, I don't hate AI. I just don't like it when people are not upfront when they use AI. And I'll be completely honest, I used AI when making the site. I know that I just needed help doing it, you know. And I had some friends where I were gotta be comp sci friends, but I wasn't really comfortable talking to them about it at first. But you'll see later, because like Rule 34, come on, that's gross stuff. Um, that's gross stuff. Um, yes. Dude, I forgot what I was talking about. The website coding. Oh yeah. So, some guy, the Dave, did it beforehand, right? And I didn't know this. So what happened was when I was making the list, I looked it up beforehand, and the only thing I saw on it was Pay Money Wubby's video on it. Right, so Pay Money Wubby has a video on it where a guy made a custom one with tags, very inappropriate tags, right? That's the only thing I saw on it first, right? And I thought that was the only one. But then before I did the Pokemon, like every 900 Pokemon, because I was only gonna do Overwatch, Valorant, and Pokken. I was like, you know what? I hate stealing ideas, and I hate it when other people steal my ideas. So let me just look it up again, just in case, because this my idea is not, it's pretty generic, and people are, people are pretty creative. There's a guy named Dave who's made one, and at the time I didn't watch any of his videos. He has 3 videos on this topic, and I'm pretty sure, and he has 2 sites. He has at itch.io, and he's hosting a server, right, with it. And I at the time I only checked out his website to see if our concepts were the same, and they weren't. They weren't the same. They were different enough. I was like, they are different enough so I can you know, like continue my idea, because at this point I was like 2 weeks into the month of April. I was like, yeah, I was just like, I was conflicted. And when I was conflicted, I was like, man, I need a different game to make with all this freaking data. And then I quickly spat out the Rule 30, Wordle, right? Which is Wordle, but with the Rule 34 numbers. hmm And go check out the Dave guy. Seems like a nice dude, I think. Um, there were other issues. Oh, yes. So, one of the biggest problems I had is loading time. When I was initially testing out the loading method, how the site used to work is since it was random, it would take the data, the tag that I collected, run it by the API. The API would spit out the number, and then it would do that for every single post at one time, which is was fine at first because I only had like 4 categories. But when I got to like 4,000, I was kind of it took like 20 minutes for the site to load, and I was not smart enough to figure it out. So I had to ask my friend Joseph Smith to about it, and he thought the whole situation was super hilarious. He actually like something he told me because when he was helping me with the website, it was like, some people at my like in my like area are gonna think I'm like a big pervert. I was like, why? And he's like, oh, because I keep like running this freaking API, It was I'm on like the Rule 34 website, So I was like, huh? And then he brought to my attention that I completely forgot is that since I, I was like doing by like 4,000, 5,000 of these. So on my school Wi-Fi, they saw that I was like, why is this guy continuously going on Rule 34, man? So they must think I'm a freaking pervert or something. And yep, that was crazy. So, the first solution, Joseph Smith had was to run it on a server. And I was like, dude, I'm broke. And it was like, oh, so another thing you can do is get all the number values first, and then you can, what's it called? Just use those instead. So I run it once and then do it, which eventually I want to make it so it runs like once a day, but I can't do that. And I kind of didn't want to do that because I wanted the numbers to be as accurate as possible. So even if I stop updating it, like the site, like eventually, I don't have to continuously run the script every month, right? But yep, I guess the thing I came to at this point in time. So the numbers on the site are mostly accurate. Like they're pretty close to being accurate, but they're not they are accurate, but they're not. They could be more accurate because it's not using the direct API. It's using like the JSON files that when I did it when I ran it once, right? But the Wordle unironically the Wordle is more accurate. So it just does because it doesn't need all the data listed out. Um yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Something API. Joseph Smith. Oh yeah. So yeah, big props to Joseph Smith for being the biggest, biggest help. He's true that he's a real one. This project would have been dead in the water. So let's hear for Joseph Smith. He's a real one, ain't a real true cell. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, money, 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 money. Right. So I felt super uncomfortable asking for money. Right. So my initial thought was like, you know what? Well, I'll charge for like they give me $1, they can do the advanced, right? Seems reasonable and fair. But then I was like, I can't do that to people. That doesn't seem right. And maybe I would make more money off of it or something. But even though I need money, um, so I kind of became since I was like charging $1. Though I wasn't charging anything. Like I wasn't hiding anything behind any features at first. But since I was like $1 coffee, I was like, no one's gonna donate to my coffee, so I need like something. So at first, at the beginning of this month, I didn't have Animal Crossing done, right? But now I do have Animal Crossing done, and I added My Little Pony, and then I just kept adding stuff. I was like micro obsessing over it because I was so anxious that just because I was asking for like money. So now it wasn't a free thing, now it was a product, and so that's why I added custom or in search options to the Wordle and to the higher lower, right? Because I felt like it's like an incentive, like that feature, you really don't need it, okay, right? But I mean, it's nice to have. If you really want it, you can do it. Um, yes, but I just felt super uncomfortable. And KOFI is stupid and lame. Okay, let me tell you this. Okay, KOFI, what the heck, man? What the heck, KOFI? Because I was like, you know what? I'll host it on my thing on KOFI, right? But and like if someone donates one time, you know what? You know what will happen? They can get the key to the website. You know, they donate like a minimum $1, right? But that's not how coffee works. So basically, you can only hide things behind memberships. And I was like, that's stupid. Why? What? Huh? Why is that a thing? Why? Oops, my freaking mic cut out. That's crazy when I was going over that criteria. So I'm just gonna speed through it this time. My criteria, first of all, no real people. If they have any real people on there, just tell me and I'll take them off immediately. Also, if you like your creator per series, the things on there you're not comfortable, I can take it off. It's not really a big deal. Second thing is no real people adjacent things, right? I can make a whole thing talking about this, but I think VTubers are a little too real people adjacent, right? And I can really go into this because I argued with people about this. I mean, like a conversation about this, and that's why I was like, it's a super gray area. So no VTubers, okay? And the third thing, I tried my best, no kids, which is super gross, man. It's like I was looking at the data of the series I have, and I did for a rule I made is like if I do a series, I do everyone in that series, no matter what, even if I don't want to like I do everyone in the series, like a lot of the main characters, right? And I didn't want to go out of my way to do series with like protagonist kid characters, right? In like the Western media sphere. It's like Star Wars: The Force of Evil, Amphibia, freaking Gravity Falls. Gross stuff. Okay, it's like no kids, no kids, no kids. Okay, but at the same time, I heard arguments like it's not real, man. So it's probably fine out. It's okay. I mean, if not, people are clamoring for it. Maybe I'll compromise my morals, but no thanks. Like, and then Eastern media is kind of weird because one of the things I based it off of was like the top 10 list, top 100 list for Rule 34. And you know what's in the top 10 list for Rule 34? My Hero Academia. And you know who the protagonists of My Hero Academia are? A bunch of minors, which is a problem in like I think anime in general, where like they sexualize kids, and I mean it's in much media too. So I was like, okay, I gotta compromise my morals a little bit, and I have like some series on there that have that, but besides that, no minors. Yep, and maybe I'll add more anime, but I need to add more anime, but it's really hard to because of like the over sexualization of minors and that's kind of gross. But also, yeah, in gaming's weird too because when I was doing Smash Bros, I was like, okay, man, I was gonna include every character that's playable in Smash Bros. Do I include like Bowser Jr., Lucas, Red from Pokemon? And I was like, man, I didn't, you know, I was like, I guess I do that, right? Because it's everyone on the list, but I don't want to like, it's kind of gross. Like, did you know? Fun fact that like every Pokemon character, most Pokemon characters, trainers, are between the ages of 16 and 22, right? Like their age is 16 to 22. I was like, what? Like, like one spectrum's really bad, and this other side of the spectrum's just fine. Like, you gotta pick an age, Nintendo. Ugh, yikes. Yikesy, dicey, dicey. Um, but no, I'll be completely honest. This situation has kind of traumatized me a little bit, and I duly regret making this website. And I I don't know. I don't know, but yep, that's it. I can talk more about stuff. If you have any questions, you can DM me on Twitter at Double the Black. See you next time. I'll make another video. Goodbye. Well, that was crazy. Wow, 3 videos of me talking about that. Wow, 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 wow. If you couldn't tell, the first video was made earlier. I think after I finished the website. The second video was made after I made the coffee stuff, and then the third video was made shortly after the second one because I didn't like it. I felt like I didn't say like certain things. It's about